Do you want to improve your workflow, use several devices on a docking station and switch directly to your console or game computer by a push of a button? Then you are right here. Because in this honest hardware review of the BenQ DP1310, we take a close look at this high-end docking station and check whether it kept what it promises. We got the DP1310 free of charge from BenQ itself, but without any influence or any conditions for the video. So, we start with the unboxing. The 20 by 20 by 10 cm package is inconspicuous and purposeful, but keeps the content safely in place so that nothing wobbles around. And right after opening, we find a short manual with the important note of the driver installation, but more on that later. The European version of the beCreatus DP1310 comes with two different plug variants, so one with the Euro plug and one English variant. A detailed manual, in addition to the short manual, is missing in the packaging, but is completely available for download on the website. Below we find the actual, again packaged docking station. And if we take the bracket out of the package, we have the power supply and the two mentioned plugs below. The quality power supply has about 180 watts of output power and all certified in quality seals, even in Europe and the United States. And this is not a lightweight either, but feels high quality. And the rather unusual for a docking station is the additional scope of delivery with two cables, a BenQ USB-C 3.2 100 watts 4K cable with 1 meter and the HDMI 2.1 8K certified 1.8 meter cable. In any case, an advantage in terms of the packaging. The USB-C data transmission cable supports 20 GB per second, as well as 100 watts power supply, PD3 and QC4, also with iOS and Android support. And the HDMI 2.1 cable supports 4K with 120 Hz and 8K with 60 Hz resolution. And of course with a bandwidth of 48 GB per second, so among other things optimal for the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox. When unpackaging the actual docking station, it is noticeable that it is quite high quality and has a complete aluminum housing, except for the front, which consists of a scratch-resistant plastic material. The docking station is not too light and feels pleasantly heavy, and this also makes a more valuable impression. And the quality of the processing is flawless, so no sharp edges or any fitting inaccuracies. In addition, the top and bottom have an aluminum finish, although it's unobtrusive whether we put the station down or put it upright. Both options are possible. In the front area we find, in addition to the mysterious green button on which we get back later, a 3.5mm audio port. In addition, a USB-C connection with 36 watts charging power and 10 GB per second data transfer. As well as two USB-A connections with 10 GB per second and 7.5 watts charging power. In the rear area we have two pre-mounted rubber feet, which improve the stability when in a lying position. These are also optional and can be used in other ways. Also in the rear area we have two USB-A connections for mouse and keyboard, a LAN connection and additional USB-A 10 GB per second connection. Also a HDMI 2.0 output, a DisplayPort 1.2 output, a HDMI 2.1 input, another 2.1 output and a USB-C input with a charging power of 100 watts. But since there are several connection options at once, we still take a closer look at what you can do with these connections and what the advantages and disadvantages are. Because BenQ offers a compatibility quite universally with Windows, macOS including M1 and M2, the Chrome OS, Linux, Ubuntu, as well as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. So all you probably need. And to be able to connect everything accordingly, the two mentioned high-quality cables are included directly in the scope of delivery. That means you can connect your laptop or your Mac directly out of the box, as well as your next-gen console or your television. And to understand what you have to plug in, you have a fairly clear short guide, which is also colored, where you can also find these colors directly on the device. But let's go to our used setup and whether the DP1310 will do its service in the near future. In our case, we use a multifunctional setup for content creation, so we're working with image and video editing programs. as well as a complete stream device, a stream studio for live transmissions, as well as an additional complete simulation setup. And that means with adjustable joysticks and foot pedals for flight simulations or space simulations like Star Citizen. Also in addition, a Windows laptop, various Android-based tablets and mobile phones, as well as a Steam Deck. The beCreatus DP1310 is supposed to enable the connection between our laptop and our existing 3-monitor setup, or can selectively connect to Steam Deck or an Android device. And for this, we definitely need a connection from the DP1310 via USB-C either to the laptop or the other devices. Therefore, let's take a look at the technical possibilities and what you can connect to the DP1310 for your case. In any case, we still need the DisplayLink driver, which we can also find directly in the Quick Start guide. Because if we want to run our laptop, MacBook or other devices that we want to connect to the station with more than one screen, we necessarily need this driver. And of course, it is also widely available for macOS, Windows, Chrome OS, Linux and Android. And with that, we have the option of operating our docking station accordingly. But be careful, if we use an input via HDMI 2.1, such as gaming consoles, we only can output it via HDMI 2.1 output. So if, on the other hand, we use an input via USB-C such as a laptop, we can output it either to 1, 2 or up to 3 screens. And since we only have a limited bandwidth available here, the table for the different devices is already different. But we basically have the option of outputting 4K and 60Hz on each display simultaneously. Interesting for players? You can run a monitor up to 120Hz, usually be an output for 4K or 60Hz and 8K. But players who need more than 120Hz on 4K in particular will not be happy here. For our use case, however, on an OLED TV as a main screen with a maximum of 120Hz, it is more than enough. But especially for players, a direct connection remains possible. But what is this big green button on the DP1310? If we press it for more than 3 seconds, the device switches between the inputs. And so we have access either in this case to our laptop with an output to one screen and the use of the other 2 screens for the main system, or optionally we use all 3 screens or only 2. And for compatible devices such as gaming consoles, we also use a mouse and keyboard accordingly. For our scenario with a desktop PC and a laptop connected via the docking station, this option is unfortunately not available, since only one computer is connected to the docking station via USB-C, and the mouse and keyboard connection available there. So we cannot, of course, be used by the desktop computer the same mouse and keyboard. With this, the DP1310 offers everything a modern high-end docking station needs. And with a quick switch between the different input signals on different monitors that we can pre-configure, an absolute plus. Of course, another plus is the high charging power of 100 watts for a connected laptop. This is sufficient for most work devices or MacBooks. For gaming laptops, however, we additionally need another connection directly for the laptop. Another advantage is to charge additional devices via USB-C with 36 watts in the front area and to use additional fast data transmission, as well as 2 USB-A connections with 7.5 watts charging power and 10 GB data transmission rate. So, as I said, basically everything a modern docking station needs. But of course, so many features also have a price. The BenQ beCreatus 13-in-1 USB-C hybrid docking station DP1310 is currently priced at just under 340 euros via Amazon or other European retailers. US customers pay about $300. The features can definitely be seen, especially in comparison, but what we miss here is an additional SD card reader. This is completely missing with the BenQ 1310. On the other hand, we have a strong HDMI 2.1 path-through. And thanks to the DisplayLink, up to 3 monitors can also be used on MacBooks, as well as the support of some unusual side ratios of up to 32:9. But an important note for MacBook users, here the output of example Netflix or Disney, so HDCP video content via the docking station is not possible. Also make sure that your Windows laptop uses an USB-C connection that supports the DisplayPort Alt mode or Thunderbolt 3 or 4. But what is your opinion on the DP1310? Let me know in the comments or in the regular Twitch live streams. I say goodbye until next time and thanks for watching.